Today we are going to talk about the budget integrated amp from BC Acoustics, the EX214. It's around 600 something USD, and usually gear that are under $1,000 get me excited because there's a good chance that they can surprise me. True story. You know, right now I have this tube integrated amp in for review, and that one is over 8 grand Canadian. And you know what? It's been sitting there in the box for I don't know how many days. Now the EX214, on the other hand, the first night I got it, I think it was very late at night, and I didn't care. I had to take it out of the box and listen to it right away. The first few seconds when I listened to it, I'm like, oh goodness, this is interesting. Now this reminds me of this email exchange I had with the distributor of this EX214. He called this the little big man. And the reason is because the unit is very small, but it sounds big. It sounds like there's a lot of muscle. And that's what caught my attention the first few seconds when I listened to it. And right away, I had to post on my community page asking people, guys, man, if you want to buy an integrated amp, if you're shopping for one, you should wait for my review, because this, I'm sure a lot of you will like it. Now, to help me review this unit, I lent it to Loic, Denise, and I lent it to Mr. Kanta. Denise, right after he tried it, he went out to buy one right away at the store. Like I said, you know, maybe I can get this demo unit at a better price. He didn't want to wait. He just went to the store and he bought it. For him, this was the biggest discovery this year in terms of all the audio gears he tried. Mr. Kanta said, you know what, out of all the integrated amps he lent me, the budget ones, this is the most fun. This is the only one that can drive the Magnepan LRS. All right, for me, this EX214 does one thing really, really well, and that's the fun factor. Compared to all the budget integrated amps I've tried, and even compared to the high-end integrated amps that I've owned, the fun factor is really like, yeah, not many amps can keep up with it. And that's because of the loudness button. And today we are going to talk about the EX214. Now, BC Acoustics is a French company. They've been around since 1993, but the first electronics they brought to the market was 2012. Now, recently, they got bought out by another company. And this part is important because BC Acoustics, one of the issues they had, for those of you who know this brand, is quality control. So when the new owner took over, the first thing he wanted to do was to solve the quality control problem. Now, if you look at the Iota VX and the BC Acoustics EX214, you'll notice that they look very similar. So I'm guessing that they had it built at the same factory. Even the packaging is similar. Now, of course, it's completely different design. Now, given the fact that I've seen only one negative feedback on my Iota VX video regarding him having a problem with the Iota VX, I'm going to assume that, yeah, the Iota VX seems very reliable. So therefore, I'm going to assume that BC Acoustics EX214 is also really reliable. Well, only time will tell. So let's take a look at the specs of this unit. Now, this is a Class AB integrated amp, outputs 45 watts into 8 ohms and 70 watts into 4 ohms. It can go down comfortably to 2 ohms. Now, it has everything: phono stage, Bluetooth, a built-in DAC, but there's no USB though. It has pre-out, so you can plug an external power amp or you can plug it to a subwoofer. It has tone control, and above all, it has a loudness button. Now, the remote is nice in the sense like it has more than 4 buttons. You know, today, man, these remotes is like 4 buttons and that's it. But this one, you can do everything with the remote. I'm going to move on to how it sounds, then I'll talk about what I don't like about it and what I love about this unit. Regarding the top end extension, it is a little bit on the forward side. Overall, you're talking about a V-curve here, okay? I won't say it's bright, but there were times where I used tone control to lower it a little bit, depending on the speaker. There's a lot of clarity, it's detail on the top end. It's just that it's something that you have to be aware of. Now, the mid-range is a little bit on the cool side of neutral. However, when you use the loudness button, the strong boosted up bass will bleed into the mid-range, giving it a bit more warmth. Now, having said that, it's not like a Class D amp where you have the dip in the mid-range. So relative to Class D integrated amps, there's more body, okay? But it is on the cool side of neutral. Bass is, of course, strong. And it's not like really tilted up, but it is a little bit stronger than compared to the other integrated amps I've tried in this price bracket. Now the center image is focused, dynamic is good. Soundstage and instrument separation, although not best in class in its price bracket, is okay. Now before I talk about what I don't like about the unit, why don't I just jump into how it compares to the Iota VX. I'm sure a lot of Iota VX owners are like, Thomas, do not tell me it's better than the Iota VX because I can't buy any more gear. I'm done, man. You know what? If you bought the Iota VX, you got yourself a fantastic integrated amp. So don't worry about it. I won't say it's better, I won't say it's worse. Both has its strength. The Iota VX mid-range is thicker. Soundstage is more airy, but the singer feels less focused. Iota VX feels more balanced and more polite. Now the BC acoustic, the top end feels a bit more extended. The bass feels a bit stronger. It has more muscle. Iota VX has a smoother mid-range, while BC acoustic have a bit more texture. So in short, the EX214 has a stronger V-curve, has better bass, more muscle. The Iota wins in terms of soundstage and a bit more refined. So either way, you win. So let's move on to what I think it can improve on. Now, first of all, the looks. Come on, put it next to the Iota VX. Iota VX looks like it's from the future, and this is from like the past. Well, maybe some people prefer it. It's just that I prefer the more modern look of the Iota VX. Now, the second thing is that it doesn't have a USB out, just like the Iota VX. So if you have a computer and you want to connect to it and you don't have a coaxial out, you can either buy an adapter for it or you have to use Bluetooth. The last thing that you have to be aware of, and this is not necessarily a negative, okay, is that it uses a potentiometer for volume control. The downside to it is not very precise, okay, but the distributor of BC Acoustic here in North America made an interesting point to me. He sent me this article highlighting what is the advantage of using a potentiometer. And it says it has the ability to withstand larger voltages and larger power dissipation and larger current carrying capability. And this is the part where I'm going to transition into what I really like about this unit. As I mentioned, I don't know, is it because it uses a potentiometer, but it seems like there's a lot of current with this thing, a lot of power, muscle. In fact, one of the special requests the distributor had was that I try it on the Magnepan LRS. He was going to go buy one, bring it to my home so that I can try it. The reason is because they tried it in the store and they were blown away by it. When I gave it to Mr. Cantor, because he bought the Magnepan LRS, he said, yep, out of all the budget integrated amp that I tried, this one can drive the LRS, especially with the loudness button. It really brings it to life. Now, I'm not saying that you should go buy the EX214 to drive your LRS. It's not my first choice. As I mentioned in my Magnepan LRS video, yeah, you want to give it as much juice as you can. Now, for the odd chance that you are one of those who have been eating instant noodles for a month, save up a few $1,000s, ready to go buy an amp for your Magnepan LRS, but when drinking the night before and only have $600 left, and you have to buy an amp today, else your wife will kill you, then yes, go get the EX214. Because out of all the budget integrated amp, yeah, this one is probably the only one that can drive it. And as I mentioned, this is the first thing that caught my attention. When I power it up, I'm like, whoa, there's a bit of muscle with this thing. And next is the loudness button. Now, loudness button, I know the original intention of it is to boost the bass, boost the treble, so that at low listening volume, it compensates and you can still hear things, right? But I tell you, man, forget that. Even at high volume, engage the loudness button.
Engage.
That's when you want to have fun with your system. You see this Emotiva speaker I have behind me? It has two 8-inch woofers. You'll think that, yeah, you're going to get a lot of bass with this. It's going to go boom, boom, boom. But it's kind of neutral in the bass, so you're not going to get visceral bass with this speaker. And I should review this one day. But with the EX214, with the loudness button engaged, I can feel gentle vibration on the floor when the bass kicks in. And you know what? My high-end integrated amps can't do it because there's no tone control. So yeah, it's more control, it's more texture, more detail with my high-end integrated amp, but it's less fun. And that's the good part about the EX214. You have the choice. You want to have fun or you want a more balanced presentation. Well, relatively speaking, you can choose. You want to listen to 80s rock music especially? Engage the loudness button. It will bring a big smile to your face. Mr. Kanta and Dennis both said, you know what, man, when you engage the loudness button, when you put it next to the other budget integrated amp, they sound lifeless. Now, one of the problems with loudness button with a lot of budget integrated amp I tried is that it loses composure when you start pushing the volume. It sounds one note and you lose all the texture, all the information. It's like a subwoofer just going at it, but not the EX214. And that's what surprised me. I can still hear a lot of information in the bass region, even if I engage loudness button. So if I have to compare, the Iota VX is a nice 4-cylinder car. The EX214 is a nice 4-cylinder car, but when you hit the loudness button, it's like you add a turbo to it and there's more muscle. They both have the pro and con, right? As I mentioned, the Iota VX sounds a bit more refined, but this is a lot of fun, man. Next, I know a lot of people don't think about this, is the warranty. This you can go to a store to buy. You have a distributor network, a dealer network, so warranty in North America is not a problem. And it breaks my heart sometimes when I see people leaving comments when they buy something direct from the manufacturer and they don't get proper support. All right, so let's wrap it up at this point. Now, Loic actually prefers the Iota VX. However, he did make a video on the EX214 and he heavily recommended it. Go check out his video. I'm going to put it in the description and the first comment, a link to his video. In my case, you know what? My mindset is very different when I listen to budget audio and also to high-end audio. High-end audio, I'm chasing after what? I want to hear the saliva of the singer. I want to hear her breathing. I want to hear the pin dropping. And when I listen to entry-level gear, I want to have fun with it. I just want to enjoy the music. Does it make me toe tapping? Does it bring a smile to my face? So that's why the EX214 really appealed to me, especially with the loudness button. Now, it's important that I clarify that you do not misunderstand me thinking that this EX214 is only good for bass. It's all about boom, boom, boom. It's good for parties. No, no, no. I can still hear the breath of the singer if I concentrate enough. It's detailed enough. It's refined enough. It's just that the fun factor stands out so much that I spend a lot of time talking about it. But if you go listen to it, it's more than that. It is a modern piece of gear that has all the audiophile qualities. So it is an audiophile level integrated amp. That I say, if you plan to buy an integrated amp in this price range, you should go listen to it. Because you can actually go listen to it in a store. Now I'm going to put in the description and the comment section the email to the North America distributor. If you can't find one around your area, just email him and he's going to make arrangements for you to audition one. All right, guys, I'll see you next time.
It's not defined. Will you kiss me? Will you play? Will you draw me? not defined.